Day 16 of the 31 days of Halloween. Did you leave a comment yesterday telling me what your favorite has been so far? I hope you did. I love to read your comments. So, hi, this is Kelly. Welcome to day 16 of the 31 days of Halloween. And it's Thrifty Thursday. So, by the time you're seeing this, I will have gotten home finally yesterday. And I'm tired. Now, I picked these up. I don't know where. They were originally $1.69. And I paid 85 cents. Might have been at Hobby Lobby. Then I have a shaving cream ATC backing. I have this from something that I bought probably at Dollar Tree. And I have this house sticker that I got from junk mail. Let's see if we can get this open first. And see what all's in here. Well, I know what's in here. There's silverware pockets for Thanksgiving dinner. But we don't do Thanksgiving. Well, we do, but I mean, it's just Bob and I. We don't do the fancy stuff. So I thought what I would do is I would use one of these for part of my tag base. I guess I need a tag base. But I just want this. I can't use the whole thing. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. Let me grab a drink really quick. I've already taken my ZzzQuil and it's saying it's bedtime. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to slide down the edge. And I don't know if I'm actually cutting that or if I'm just breaking the glue loose. So we're going to go through and do this on this side. This side isn't as easy for me because it's going backwards from how I would usually do this. Like that. So maybe I need to go over this way. And while it's not exactly Halloween, it is fall. There we go. Then I can cut this other side that I tried to slice open. And come up this way. And I think we can salvage that. But this needs to go, something needs to go on the back of here. So I'm going to trim this off where they didn't cut off very well. And I'm contemplating just doing a solid background to lay this on. And I think I can just give up part of that. Let's get our trimmer up here. And just take off that sliver. Just like that. And then it's not in our way anymore. And we really haven't lost anything off of here. But we need a background. So let's go to our Dollar Tree stuff for our papers. Little dark, kind of cool. A little too much background on there for me. I think. Let's use this one with our paw prints. Or not. Maybe. They're everywhere. Okay. I think maybe we'll use this. And then we can put this in the center. Yeah, I don't like that darker tone. I think we need a solid color on there. So, let's look and see what I have over here that I could use. Oh! Well, no, I want to hang on to those two envelopes. So let's go to a basic color. Maybe something like cinnamon cider. That might be a good piece to use. Put that there. Too Thanksgiving-y. Let's skip the cinnamon cider. Maybe a green. What about Parakeet Party? It's a really bright green. Yeah, too bright. We'll get it here in a minute. What about, I think Evergreen Bow is a little too dark, but it's not. What about a really deep purple? Maybe Blackberry Bliss. I kind of like that. Oh yeah, let's do that one. So I'm going to scoot this stuff off to the side. And I'm going to and we need to cut this 6.5 by 3.5, but I'm going to give myself a little wiggle room. And look, if we come in and use this, we can pick up that Blackberry Bliss in here. So let's go to 3 3/4. So we've got a little bit of edge to get rid of, and let's go to 6 3/4. That gives us a 1/4 inch all the way around to get rid of after we glue it onto our tag. Sometimes it's just a matter of getting out your toys and seeing what you've got. I haven't played with this for a while. Let's do this. Now I have a scrap rack that most of my stuff is stored in. When I'm done resorting my Christmas and Halloween crafting stuff, it's going to go in big 12 by 12 scrapbook binders over on the cart, and that's just going to be Halloween and Christmas. And then my alphabet can come back over here where I have the rest of my scrap rack stuff. And then I can be able to find everything. Now, we're going to let that sit for a minute. We almost got that in the wrong spot. But let's go ahead now. And what did I do with my big scissors? I just had them. Just had them. And let's see if we can trim this up. Still have some stuff on there. When I'm done with this session, I'm going to have to give all my scissors a good cleanup. And like I said before, all it takes is a little acetone, which you can find in the nail department of any of your stores that carry nail products. And it's not very expensive, and a little bit on a washcloth goes a long way in cleaning off your scissors. Even the non-sticky titanium scissors will still have stuff stick to them after a while. They still need a refresh. So if you have titanium scissors and they tell you nothing's going to stick to them, and then it does, don't get upset, because it will stick eventually. Okay, bring in our template. And do this. Whoa. Those look like they need sharpened. I've been cutting an awful lot with these Fiskars Fussies, but I like the shorter blade. And I have Stampin' Up! Scissors somewhere that I never use. Okay, so we could use this and put this in the middle, and I like that, but then we're going to put this in the center and bump it up. So let's go through and do this first with our black soot and tone down that white edge a little bit. And check, make sure I was still filming. Now that one I'm going to be really careful with. I could have got another one out, but once that's glued down, it's going to be fine. No sense wasting it. So I'm going to come back in with this and the glue. And I'm, you know, at 31 tags, it's really hard to make them all come out a little different. But here's the thing. If you're playing with different tools, you're going to get similar results for some things, but not everything's going to look the same. Okay, and while we've got that, now I'm going to do something onto this, but first I want to get the dimensionals on there and get this popped up. And actually, I think, oh, this was a Halloween t-shirt from a big box store. Now, what do we want to put here to cover that up? I have some ideas. Over here in my box of magic tricks, I thought I had. I'm going to lay stuff in the way for a minute. I don't want the jewels. That's not what I'm after this time. Well, they could be, but they're not exactly what I'm after. Let me put those back where they belong. Neutral, Cardinal, Winter, Halloween, Dollar Tree. There's where they go. When you're done with your toys, put them away, and you'll start with a clean slate the next day that when you get stuff out to play. It's that simple. Okay, but I want to cover up that dot. Just not sure with what. Now we don't want a witch hat on there. maybe. Let's peel one off just to see what it looks like. These are the ones that have the slits in them. Where can I find those yesterday? I had ones that didn't have the slits on them, so I don't want to use those. That was Ideology 2024. I think I was using Ideology 2023 yesterday that had those. So I'll have to look for that because I don't want to ruin that. What about a button? Oh, here we go. That's what I was looking for. Those are ants. We don't want ants. We do need something on there, though, to cover that up. Do I have something little? Maybe a little bat would work? No. That won't work, Mr. Bones. No, no, no. No, 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 no. So much to choose from sometimes, it's just too much. Okay, nothing in there caught my attention. Let me ruminate on that for a minute. Oh, what about if I use... stuff sticking here. Those are too big. Anything there is too big. So those won't work. We don't want Harry Potter glasses on there. Playing cards are too big. Our houses are too big. There was the other book from Tim Holtz. These witchy hats don't have, so I guess they do. Why did it not look like I had slits on those before? I think I like that. I think I can live with that. Okay, so let's start there. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we can go ahead and put a dot there now. Get this one bumped up. And see, this wasn't Halloween, but by adding this in the center, we can change its sentiment really easy. So we're just going to put that there, right in the center. Now I need to put something down here. And I had a couple of ideas. Decided not to use this. Don't want buttons. I have washi tape. We could use washi tape and give it some glitter. But I also have thought I had a black lace that I could have put. There it is. I knew I had a black lace. Let's pull this back up for a minute. Let's measure this out. And I'm going to cut it right there. I know that's a little more than I need, but it wants to curl. So let's go ahead and put this on. And so you can see where the glue stops just above the ridge. So we can go ahead, put that down. And then we can come back and put a line of this on, and that will work perfectly. Okay, we'll get that out of the way. And then I'm going to come back with my scissors and clip those off and get that out of my way because it won't cut with it on there. Okay, there's that. All done. If you've not cleaned your studio in a while, chances are you need to, because you may find things that you forgot you had. Now my stuff has been in the scrap rack for almost 10 years, most of it, And it's not that I forgot what was in there, but when I had the scrap rack doing book style on the rack, it was really hard for me to keep up with what was in there. So I was glad to take the opportunity to turn everything and stand them upright like a book on a shelf, and it's been so much easier. Now this looks like it needs something, but I'm not sure. So for now, I'm just going to come in with my dot. If I can get that out of my punch. And that's why my punch was stuck. I'll have to leave that for Bob to play with. He's good at stuff like that, and he's going to work on that while I'm gone. Well, I'm not picking that one up off the floor. We're going to do that. We're just going to do that. And I'm going to flip this upside down. Be right back with the glued in spot around the edge in the center. Give it a chance to dry for just a minute. And I still have my iron hot over here in case I need it. And then we can come back with our punch. This is definitely going to need a black or an orange ribbon. As soon as I get that out of there so I can see. There we go. Now I can see where I'm at. Okay, definitely a black ribbon. What about this sparkly black? I like this one. I like this one. So let's bring our ironing mat over and let's figure out how much of that we want. Pin it back in place. Yeah, well, most of my ribbon has gone on those bobbins. I didn't bother to do that with those small bobbins because I figured they weren't going to last long. So they were fine in the case where they were at. I didn't need to take up space with them. And now that I'm done with the iron, I can unplug it for now and get that out of the way. And I think we're going to loop this one. So remember, fold it in front to back. Where's my crochet hook? Because I'm going to need it to pull this back through anyway. And then I'm going to put my crochet hook in the loop. And I'm going to grab a hold of those tails and pull them through just like that. I know there's a second tail there somewhere. There he is. He's just folded up where he didn't need to be. And just give them a tug. And we're good to go. And then I'm going to come back through and give them a cut. And there we have our tag for day 15 of the 31 days of Halloween. I will be back here tomorrow with another Fabric Friday. In the meantime, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and spooky Halloween blessings. Let's try that again. How about spooky creative blessings? There we go. It's bedtime.